Hello, my name is Wanabiha binti Muhammad Zukri, and with my other two group mates, Luqman and Zulhusni, we are from MLCKB, and we are going to present about the movie analysis of Dead Poet Society. Okay, for introduction, Dead Poet Society is a 1989 American drama film directed by Peter Weir and written by Tom Schulman. The movie is set in Welton Academy, which is a high prestigious school that strongly follows these four pillars, which is tradition, honor, discipline, and excellence. So the story focuses on John Keating, an English teacher who uses unconventional teaching methods to encourage his students to think independently and express themselves. He introduces the idea of carpe diem, or seize the day, and encourages the students to develop their own voices instead of simply following society's expectations. So, if you have watched the movie, basically carpe diem is the main message of the movie. Okay, and the movie is relevant to this project because because it shows that being a teacher involves more than delivering academic knowledge. Teachers also need to understand their students, communicate effectively, encourage their development, and consider the consequences of their actions. Therefore, the film allows us to examine both the positive qualities of professional teacher and the ethical responsibilities that come with influencing students. That is for introduction. Okay, now let's talk about how teaching can be seen as an art through this film. Okay, John Keating uses creative and student-centered approach instead of simply asking students to memorize definitions or asking them to analyze poetry solely from the textbooks. He allows them to experience and interpret literature in their own way. For example, he asks his students to stand on his desk to demonstrate the importance of seeing things from different perspectives. He also combines poetry with activities such as soccer, where he asks his students to read poems out loud and to express themselves using their own interpretations and emotions. So these activities shows that teaching involves more than just simply delivering information. Keating demonstrates that teaching can be considered as an art because teachers' creativity and ability to engage students can make learning more impactful and memorable. Next, we have identified 4 professional attributes demonstrated by John Keating in the movie. Okay, so the first attribute is creativity. Keating does not rely solely on traditional teaching methods. He uses interactive activities to make his lessons more meaningful and memorable. For example, he asks the students to stand on his desk. He teaches them to look at situations from a different perspective. This shows how creativity can make learning more engaging. So the second attribute is passion for teaching. Keating shows a genuine enthusiasm for poetry and education. His excitement influences his students and makes them more interested in the subject. This shows that a passionate teacher can create a positive classroom environment. And when a teacher is shows that he is very passionate, then it will influence the student's mood to learn. Okay, and the third attribute is empathy and understanding. Keating understands that every student has a different personalities and struggles. For example, he encourages Todd to overcome his lack of confidence and find his own voice. He also listens to Neil when Neil seeks advice about his conflicts with his father. So instead of judging them, Keating provides support and encouragement to let them know that they are not alone, and Keating provide the support that they need and listen to their problems. Now, for the last and fourth attribute is effective communication with his students. Keating explains difficult ideas in ways that students can comprehend and remember. He also creates an environment where students feel comfortable expressing their thoughts, feelings, and even asking questions. So, this effective communication helps teachers build trust and support students not only academically but also personally.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So let's moving on to duties and responsibilities of Mr. Keating. But before I explain this part, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Luqman Hakim bin Muhammad. I am from Branch KB. So today I would like to discuss the duties and responsibilities of the teacher, Mr. John Keating. As portrayed in the movie Dead Poets Society, through his character, the film shows us that a good teacher is not only someone who delivers lessons, but also someone who carries important professional duties and deeper ethical responsibilities towards his students. So let's us begin with the three main duties of Mr. Keating. So the first one, Mr. Keating successfully develops his students' intellectual abilities as an English teacher. He is responsible for teaching literature and poetry. However, he does not rely only on rote learning or simple textbook analysis. Instead, he encourages the boys to understand poetry as a reflection of human emotions, passions, and individuality. By doing this, he raises the intellectual level of his classes far beyond what is needed just to pass examinations. So the second one, even though his teaching style is unique and creative, Mr. Keating still maintains proper classroom discipline. He organized unusual activities such as asking students to stand on their desks or march in the courtyard, but these activities are always well structured and purposeful. This shows that a successful teacher must be able to inspire students while keeping order and organizations in the classrooms. The third one, Mr. Keating served as an excellent role model for his students. Teachers are expected to set a good example because students often learn by observing their teachers, right? Mr. Keating shows genuine interest in literature, has the courage to question all and rigid traditions, and demonstrates real respect for individuality of every boy. Through his actions, he became a living example of independent thinking, integrity, and intellectual curiosity. Apart from these duties, Mr. Keating also fulfills these three important professional responsibilities. Firstly, he takes responsibility for the holistic development of his students. He understands that education is much wider than simply passing exams. Therefore, he tries to develop the emotional, moral, and personal sides of the boys. He constantly encourages them to seize the day and to find their own voices in life. Secondly, he takes responsibility for students who are under severe pressure. Most of the boys at Walton Academy face high expectations from ambitious parents and strict school environment. In particular, Keating shows special care and empathy towards Neil Perry, who wants to become an actor but is forced by his father to follow the different path. Thirdly, Mr. Keating upholds professional accountability and ethical behavior. Even though he has progressive ideas about education, he remains responsible to the school administrations. Where he is blamed for Neil's death and forced to resign, he does not create more problems or put additional pressure on his students. He accepts the situations with dignity. So that's all for this part. So now I will move on to the three major challenges that Mr. Kitty faces in the movie and how he handled each of them in a professional manner. The first challenge is the strong opposition from the school administrations and conservative parents. Welton Academy is very proud of its four pillars, which is traditions, honor, discipline, and excellence. Because of this, Keating free thinking teaching methods are seen are seen as dangerous and threatening to the school systems. Mr. Keating handles this challenge very professionally. He never openly criticizes and the administrations or starts any public conflict. Instead, he continued to teach according his own educational philosophy within the classroom walls. And he focuses his energy on motivating and inspiring his students rather than fighting against the system. So let's moving on to the second one. The second challenges is more personal. It's involve assisting students who are under severe pressure from their parents and society. The most serious case is Neil Perry. Neil's father forces him to give up his passion for acting and to pursue a career in medicine, regardless of what Neil really wants. This conflict places Keating in a difficult position because he cares deeply about his students' well-being. Mr. Mr. Keating responds in a professional and careful way. He listens to Neil with genuine empathy, advises him to speak honestly with his father, and try very hard to help him handle the situations maturely. Importantly, Mr. Keating does not cross the line. He does not make decisions for Neil, and he does not interfere inappropriately with the parents. Even though the ending is tragic, his action shows the proper role of a caring teacher. So let's moving on for the last one, which is and most difficult challenge comes after Neil's death. Due to pressure from the school administrations, the Neil's father, some students are forced to sign a statement that places the blame for the tragedy of Keating. As a result, he is dismissed from his jobs. In response, this is to these unfair situations, Keating shows exceptional professionalism and emotional maturity. He does not argue, he does not blame anyone else, and he does not create further distress for the already shocked students. He calmly accepts the decisions and leaves the schools with dignity. When the student stands on their desk as a final silent salute to him, Keating responds with quiet gratitude, but he does not encourage them to disobey further. This is a powerful example of professional and ethical behavior under extreme pressure. In conclusion, Mr. John Keating teaches us that true professionalism in teaching is not only about inspiring students, but also about handling duties, responsibilities, and difficult challenges with integrity, care, and dignity. Thank you. So I will pass on to the next presenter, which is Zulhusni.
Hi everyone, I'm Nik Muhammad Zulhusni bin Nik Muzaiman. Today, I'll be sharing two key ways that the movie Dead Poet Society inspired me to become a professional teacher. First, championing critical thinking over memorization. Mr. Keating inspires teachers to move away from rigid textbooks and spoon-feeding facts. Tearing out the mathematical poetry introduction proved that learning happens when students are challenged to question ideas, analyze deeply, and form their own opinions. This inspires me as a future educator to design interactive lessons that push students to discover their authentic voices rather than just memorizing notes for exams. Encouraging learners to think independently helps them understand how literature and language genuinely connect to real life. In the end, genuine teaching is about lighting a spark rather than just filling an empty bucket. By challenging standard metric, an educator helps students build lifelong reasoning skills and the courage to stand by their own ideas. Next, creating a safe emotional haven for students. Being a professional teacher means looking after a learner's mental and emotional health. Keating listening to Neil's struggle show that a classroom must be a non-judgmental space built on empathy, trust, and active listening. It motivates me to look beyond simple academic performance and pay close attention to the silent personal pleasures young people carry every day. Providing this level of pastoral care ensures that students feel secure, respected, and confident enough to overcome difficult challenges. Ultimately, holistic care is the true backbone of professional teaching. When an educator offers steady emotional support, the classroom turns into a sanctuary where learners feel truly valued for who they are. That's it. Thank you. In short, Dead Poet Society shows that teaching is not just a job, but a powerful responsibility. It proves that great teaching is an art fueled by creativity, passion, and genuine empathy to keep students engaged. Even when facing strict school rules and difficult expectations, teachers must always stand by their ethics and put their students first. Ultimately, John Keating reminds us that true education is about shaping lives, building confidence, and touching hearts. Not just completing a syllabus. Inspiring learners to find their authentic voices and think critically gives them the tools to navigate life beyond the classroom walls. As future educators, this film serves as an enduring reminder that our highest calling is to nurture the whole human being with care, courage, and understanding. By fostering emotional safety and true curiosity, we can empower the next generation to make their own lives truly extraordinary. That's it. Thank you.